GRIMORA.
Snow settled along the empty street outside the old downtown theater, collecting against the marquee and softening the outlines of posters still displayed behind glass. The final Christmas showing had ended early that night. By 10:30, the audience was gone, the lobby lights dimmed, and the doors locked. The building stood quiet, holding the shape of a place that had finished its purpose for the day. Nathan Rowe remained inside a few minutes longer than planned. He worked part-time handling end-of-night checks, walking the aisles and confirming that doors were secured and equipment powered down. The theater had been operating for decades, and its routines followed a pattern that rarely changed. By the time he reached the auditorium, the space was dark except for a single work light glowing near the back wall. He walked down the aisle between the rows of seats, his steps soft against the carpet. The stage lay ahead, hidden behind the heavy curtain that had closed after the last performance. The smell of dust and old fabric hung in the air. Nathan checked the side doors, confirmed the emergency exits were locked, and turned back toward the aisle. As he reached the center of the room, a faint sound carried from the stage. It was subtle, almost lost in the building's natural creaks, a low mechanical pull, like fabric shifting against a track. Nathan stopped and listened. The sound came again, slow and controlled. The curtain moved. Only a few inches at first, lifting slightly at the bottom as if tension had been applied to the rigging. The theater's curtain system was manual. The ropes were secured after each show. No motors remained connected. He knew this because the system had been inspected earlier that week. The curtain rose another inch. Nathan stepped closer to the front row. The work light behind him cast a long shadow across the seats. On stage, the boards reflected no light. There was no one there. The air felt cooler near the foot of the stage, heavier than the rest of the room. He checked his watch. 11:38 p.m. The curtain stopped moving. The space held steady, silent again. Nathan considered turning back and leaving, deciding the movement might have been caused by temperature changes or settling fabric. He took one step backward. A stage light clicked on. It was not the bright overhead lighting used during performances. It was a single focused spotlight angled downward from above, illuminating the center of the stage in a pale circle. Dust particles drifted through the beam, moving slowly as if suspended. The curtain rose higher. It lifted smoothly now, revealing the empty stage floor. No props stood there, no set pieces remained from the earlier show. The boards were bare, marked only by faint scuffs from past performances. Nathan's breath formed a short cloud in front of him. The temperature dropped noticeably, localized around the stage. He stayed where he was, eyes fixed on the circle of light. Footsteps sounded on the stage. They were clear and measured, each step placed with precision. The sound echoed softly, carrying the hollow quality of an empty hall. Nathan could hear the rhythm distinctly. Still, nothing moved within the spotlight. The footsteps crossed from stage left to center, stopping within the illuminated circle. The sound ceased. The light remained steady. At 11:50, the curtain reached its full height and locked into place. The theater felt different now, as if attention focused on the stage rather than the room. Nathan remembered something he had heard from an older staff member during his first month on the job.
Years earlier, a performer had collapsed during a Christmas production after staying late to rehearse alone. The stage manager found the lights on and the curtain raised, but no one responded to calls from the auditorium. The building closed for several days after. The spotlight flickered once. The footsteps resumed, this time moving toward the front edge of the stage. They stopped just short of where a performer would normally face the audience. Nathan watched the space, half expecting a figure to form within the light. Nothing appeared. At 11:59, the house lights dimmed even further, even though they were already set low. The work light behind Nathan shut off completely. The auditorium fell into darkness except for the single beam on stage. At midnight, the sound of applause filled the room. It was not loud, it did not swell like a full audience. It arrived as a muted pattern, hands clapping in slow, uneven rhythm, scattered and distant. The sound seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once, echoing off the empty seats and walls. The footsteps moved again, stepping forward into the edge of the spotlight. The sound paused, as if waiting. The applause faded. The spotlight dimmed gradually until it shut off. The curtain began to descend, lowering at a steady pace. As it fell, the temperature in the room rose back toward normal. Nathan's breath no longer fogged the air. When the curtain closed fully, the theater returned to silence. Nathan did not wait. He walked quickly to the exit, locked the doors behind him, and stepped into the snow-covered street. The marquee lights remained off. The posters stayed dark. From the outside, the building appeared unchanged. In the days that followed, Nathan checked the curtain system and lighting controls. No faults were found. The ropes were secured. The spotlight showed no record of activation. Other staff members mentioned that similar things had been noticed before, always on late December nights, always after the theater had closed. Each Christmas Eve, long after the final show ended, the curtain rose once more. A light came on, footsteps crossed the stage, and an unseen performance continued for an audience that no longer gathered inside the seats.